I remember being completely shocked when I first tried Sauvage Elixir because it was the first elixir that was given to us in the designer market, and nobody knew what direction Dior were going to take their Sauvage DNA to create this new elixir trend. I don't even think that Dior knew that this elixir idea was going to be as popular as it has been in the fragrance community, and now you've got almost every designer brand releasing their own version of elixir. So when Hugo Boss announced their recent Boss Bottled Elixir, I knew I had to pick it up immediately because I really wanted to see what they were going to do to the Boss Bottled DNA to create a new elixir. So in today's video, we're going to be comparing Dior Sauvage Elixir versus Boss Bottled Elixir. Are there any differences? Are there any similarities? This video will hopefully help you decide which one to buy. Now, it can't be denied that Sauvage Elixir is a fantastic designer fragrance. They've turned fragrances around and taken them into a different direction, especially when it comes to men's designer fragrances. Everybody now is jumping on the trend. And I remember specifically exactly the point when I tried Sauvage Elixir for the first time. And I was very surprised at the direction they went in, because this was a time when most fragrance brands were making ultra safe, versatile fragrances. And I thought we were going to have a similar fragrance to Sauvage Parfum, so I was very surprised when I sprayed this on my hand and I realized it turned into this very spicy, almost old school men's fragrance. Very masculine, very woody, very spicy, with a beautiful lavender that goes the whole way through the life of the fragrance. It was a massive hit in the community, and it's still one of the most popular designer fragrances on the market. So since we've had Sauvage Elixir, we've had Roja Apex, which in my opinion took some similarities to Sauvage Elixir. We've had the new Absolute Aventus, which I did a review on a couple of weeks ago on my channel, also took some similarities to Aventus. We've then had Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir, no similarities to this one, but they've taken the name. We've got Gucci Guilty Elixir. We've got a whole host of different elixirs coming out, all trying to compete with the original Sauvage Elixir. Now, when I first tried this, I took this on my summer vacation to Portugal. Big mistake, because this doesn't work in the high heat. It's not a summery fragrance like the original Sauvage is. The original Sauvage, obviously very fresh and very versatile. You can wear it anywhere. This is not like that at all. You do get the original Sauvage in here. You can smell it. If you search for that Sauvage DNA, you can find it. You can find it in here, but it's deep and buried. It's not the same. It's very different. And for me, this is much more of a cooler weather fragrance. Now, Sauvage Elixir does open up with this grapefruit note, but it's not bright and invigorating. It's just there. It's just there in the opening. You can just about smell it. But this is mainly about the spices: cinnamon, nutmeg, licorice. You have lavender. You have this beautiful licorice note in the base, which is very interesting. It might be off-putting. That's why you should try this fragrance first before you buy it. But it could be off-putting. It's different. It's unique, and it also has a beautiful smooth sandalwood note, which is going to be in the base of this fragrance. But in my opinion, Sauvage Elixir is one of the best designer fragrances that you can buy at the minute. The ingredients smell high quality. It's strong. It comes across as a head-turning fragrance because it's so strong. 2 or 3 sprays. This lasts throughout most of the day. Get it on your clothes and it's going to remain there for a long time. Also, this hasn't got the popularity that the original Sauvage has, and I think that's down to, firstly, it's newer, only 2 years old. Secondly, it's really expensive. It only started off as a 60ml bottle, and recently now we have the bigger 100ml bottle, but because of the price, it's going to be off-putting to a lot of people. So don't think that a lot of people around you are going to be wearing this. If you wear this, you will certainly smell very unique to other people around you. So when should you wear Sauvage Elixir? I personally reserve this for more special occasions. This doesn't come across as a casual fragrance to me. It's not one that I want to wear in every situation. It's one that I tend to reserve. And also, it hasn't got that really easy to love DNA. I typically wear something like Hermes H24. I might wear the original Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Davidoff Cool Water. I wear something like that when I just want to smell good and I don't care what I'm doing, I don't care what I'm wearing. But if I'm going on a night out, if I'm dressing up slightly different to how I do normally, and I want something that I know is going to get noticed by other people, that is the perfect time to wear Sauvage Elixir. And one thing I do love about this is you can smell the quality of ingredients that are in here. It has this expensive smell. It hasn't got any cheap aroma chemical smells in here. It does smell quite natural and overall it's a spicy lavender with a beautiful woody background. So how does the new Boss Bottled Elixir compare to the Sauvage Elixir? Now when you first spray it, you get this resinous, almost fruity quality that you don't get in Sauavge Elixir. Of course, Sauavge Elixir has that grapefruit note, but it's not fruity or sweet particularly. That grapefruit is in the background. It's in the shadows, if you like. This one does have this sort of fruity sweetness in the opening. Now, if you own Grand Soir, I want you to take a test strip or a piece of paper and spray Grand Soir on one and HUGO Boss Bottled Elixir on the other one. Close your eyes and smell them both, because you get this ambery sweetness in Boss Bottled Elixir that I find in MFK Grand Soir. I'm not comparing these fragrances at all. There's a huge difference in the smell and the quality of both of these fragrances, but there's an ambery quality that you get in Grand Soir that I can find in this. Now, like Sauvage Elixir, I was extremely surprised in a good way when I tried Boss Bottled Elixir. Now, that's because I love the original Boss Bottled and I love Boss Bottled Intense, which I have a bottle of up there. Beautiful fragrance, unfortunately discontinued. But the other Boss Bottled fragrances, especially the new Parfum version, there's been a whole host of new Boss Bottled fragrances over the last 5 years, but none of them are particularly special. They're not bad, they're just nothing different or unique or particularly interesting. So when I bought this, didn't expect much, so I was very surprised when I tried this and realized how good it was. Boss Bottled Elixir is spicy, it's dry, it's masculine, and it's quite rough. It's not as smooth as Sauvage Elixir. You can tell that the quality in ingredients and the blending has not been as good in this as it is in Sauvage Elixir. In Sauvage Elixir, you have this beautiful smoothness, and you can really see how well it's been blended. This is a lot more rougher. It's not smooth. It feels like it needs to be smoothed out a little bit just to even be considered to be in line with Sauvage Elixir. But having said that, you still have a lot of spices in here. Overall, it's a spicy fragrance. It's very dry and spicy, very masculine with patchouli and woods in the base. The patchouli is actually really strong and noticeable, and in my opinion, that's the main difference between this and Sauvage Elixir. Performance of Boss Bottled Elixir is excellent. Last week, I sprayed some on my forearm at night time, went to bed because I wanted to test the fragrance. I woke up and I could still smell it on my forearm really strongly. But the most interesting part is it had really changed on my skin from the night time into the morning. Something had happened where the notes had changed to from this masculine, woody, spicy fragrance into this sort of ambery, resinous vanilla. It had changed. It had gained this vanillic-like sweetness, which I thought was beautiful. So that was really interesting to me that it had changed. And obviously it lasted many hours on my skin, so I know it's a really good performing fragrance. Now let's talk about the main differences between these two fragrances. So in Sauvage Elixir, you get the grapefruit in the opening, you get the spicy lavender and the licorice, which are not present in Boss Bottled Elixir. In Boss Bottled Elixir, it's more ambery, and you have this woody, almost smoky-like patchouli note, which is not present in Sauvage Elixir. Which one do I think is best? Well, I think overall, Sauvage Elixir is a better fragrance. It's smoother, the ingredients seem better quality, and overall the smell is just a bit nicer. But HUGO Boss Bottled Elixir will come down in price. It's already coming down in price on discounters, and I think eventually you'll be able to buy 100 ml for around £70. And for that price, I think it's an absolute bargain. It's a really, really good fragrance for that money. And Sauvage Elixir is always going to be more expensive. The performance is actually comparable on both. They get similar performance, with Boss Bottled Elixir perhaps being more noticeable, especially in the opening because it's rougher, it's not as smooth, but they both have really good performance, and I'd both wear them to similar situations. So I hope this video helped you decide which one to buy. There are some similarities and some differences between these two fragrances. Now let me know, have you tried these two fragrances and which one did you prefer?